Howdy, Possum Patty here, and today I'm going to put together a journal using my little golden book about Frida Kahlo. So come on along. I bought this one the other day because I do enjoy Frida Kahlo's art and her amazing life story. All the things physically that she had to overcome in her life. It's very inspiring. And when I saw this, I just had to get it. So I'm going to show you how I take this apart, disassemble, and reassemble it into a journal. Now the very first thing that I do is take off this golden tape and save it so it can be used inside the journal. And how I do that is just with a little heat from my heat gun. Once the glue starts to melt underneath, you can kind of just peel this right off. Watch out, the heat gun gets hot. Oop, I ripped it, but that's okay. There we go. That's one side. Flip it over. And do the other side. This is a fairly new book. Oh, it's got Ruth Ginsburg on the back here. So we know it's new. Takes a minute. Have to have a little patience. And it will come off. Okay, I only got one little rip in there. So when that cools off, it won't be so sticky. And then you can go ahead and use this for whatever you want. You want to put it in your trashy, you want to put it in your journal. It's got really cute elephants on it, and bunnies and chickens and bees. Alright, so this book was copyright 2021. So this is a fairly new book. Alright, so once you have the gold foil off, the staples are exposed. And there are two staples holding the book together. So what I do is use a screwdriver, which is not on the desk. Let me go get it. You just want a regular screwdriver with a flat head or something very sturdy. You got to be careful here. But you want to get under the staple and just lift up the edge like that. Stand it up straight. And once you have it standing up straight like that, you can work it from this side carefully. Don't hurt yourself. Pull it out. If you have a pair of pliers, which I do here somewhere. Where's the pliers? I guess I should have had all my tools ready, right? Oh, they just fell under something. And pull that straight out. Carefully throw that away so nobody gets hurt. And do the same to the other side. I'm not very good with tools, so excuse the fumble fingers. Keep your left hand away from or your right hand away from the hand that is working, because if you slip with the screwdriver, you don't want to hit your hand. Lift that up, pull that out, carefully throw that away so nobody gets hurt. Okay, now your book is ready to take apart, and you will notice that there are 2 signatures in all of the little golden books, and each signature has 3 sheets of paper. And then you have to make a major decision before you sew in your signatures about how you want the story to go. But that will come after we put together the cover. Now, the little golden books have this crease right here, and a lot of people rip this part off and make the journal just this size. But if you remove this strip, then every page of the story you put in, you have to fold to fit into the cover. And I don't like that. So I leave this section on. And what I do is I cut a piece of cardboard. Now this cardboard is just the back from, say, a sketch pad. Now sketch pads tend to have a really strong back piece of cardboard because you're using that as a backing when you draw. So when I get to the end of a sketch pad, I save this part and use this to make this spine and the reinforcements on the little golden book. I've also used different kinds of cardboard too. Anything that has a similar thickness, so look at that sketchbook backing cardboard is like the same exact thickness as the cover. So this works really well. This spine is the size of the book, which is, use my broken ruler here, just about 8 inches. So this is 8 inches, and it is 2 inches wide. Now you can make the spine any size you want. If you like a really fat journal, you might want to go 2.5 or 3 if you're going to put in 3 or 4 signatures. I am only going to put 2 signatures in this journal, so I'm going to leave it at 2 inches. And the reinforcement strips are also 8 inches, and they're about 1 inch wide. You need 2 of those, 1 for each side of the cover. And they're going to go right where that crease is. So when you put it on like that, it's going to support that, and then the cover will not bend like the little golden books do. Just to give you an idea of the different sizes of the spines, this was my very first little golden book. It is a Christmas memory keeper, and the spine on this one is 2.5, and I have 3 signatures, and it's nice and chunky. Everything fits in there really nicely. So 3 signatures, 2.5 inches. And on this one, I didn't care too much about the pages, so they're sort of willy-nilly here and there, and a lot of them are covered up, and like this page, so you can see a little bit right there. And other pages from The Grinch are in this book also. So this little golden book does not follow the story that was in the little golden book. I just added a lot of Christmas things to it. This is my Jingle Bell journal with a wide spine. The journal I'm working in now, Wonders of Nature, also has the 2.5 inch spine. And this one has 4 signatures, but it has 2 signatures to journal in, one in the front and one in the back. And what I did was I left the whole story intact in the middle. So this is a different way of doing it. because I love the little nature story and I wanted to keep it intact so you can actually still read the book. So I'm doing my nature journaling in the first signature, and then I'll do more nature journaling in the second signature, and the story is in the middle. So this is another idea for the 2.5-inch spine. I haven't put any danglies or anything on the outside yet. This one I just finished. Well, actually I didn't finish this one yet, did I? Did I finish this one? No, this one is not done yet, and this is another winter journal that I will keep working on with some memory keeping, and this one I also did not keep the story intact, but I did sort of coordinate some of the colors. This one's all about colors, the colors of winter. So some of the pages, like this one is about purple, and I put a purple page over here, and brown about cocoa, and I put a cocoa page. So this one, even though I didn't keep the story intact, I did coordinate orange with an orange page. I did coordinate some of the colors with the rest of the journal. I like this page. I'll probably keep that page the way it is, though. It's a cute way to end the story. So this is another way to do it. So this is more like the very first one I did, the Christmas journal. Got danglies hanging out here. And another one that I'm working on is a memory keeper now. This is the 2-inch, which is going to be the same as this, with 2 signatures. And this one, I'm not going to journal on the original book pages. And they are in order, but I have journaling pages in between in the story. So I'm not going to journal on that. And the story is in order, but to read the whole story, you've got to flip through the whole journal. So that is another way of doing it. There are so many different ways of doing this. That it is up to you to make that decision. So those are the 4. I think that's the 4. Oh wait, hold on. Okay, I lied. Here's number 5. And I started this a long time ago, but you can see the reinforcing strips here that I covered with this material. Covered the spine with that same material. And this one I was going to be a memory keeper about the grandparents. And the spine on this one is, that is not the ruler, 2.5. So I'll probably put 3 signatures in here. And I'll probably divide the story up into three signatures and not exactly keep it in order, but that's okay. So there are 3 sheets in each, 2, 3, and 2 signatures. So you have 6 sheets. So if you're going to do 3 signatures, I usually put 2 story pages in each signature. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this will be number 6. This will be number 6. Okay, so the first thing now that I need to do is, at this stage, I'm going to glue down these support strips so that this part of the book doesn't bend. If you ever buy a used little golden book, this part is very wobbly, bends back and forth like this, and that's just from opening and closing the book. If you get one that's brand new, it's not bent, but it will bend once you start working in your journal. So these supports are going to go on. Again, these are about 1 inch wide. And I am going to grab a glue, because obviously I didn't pull out any supplies when I started this. And let's see, I'll just put on here so I know how much. Clogged up. I had it standing on its head yesterday, but not today. Here we go. This is my $1.25 beacon glue from the Dollar Tree. Using something that's a little stinkier and a little stronger to hold this down. Like that. Now I make journals for myself, so I don't worry too much about everything being exact and beautiful and so gorgeous that I don't even want to journal in it, because I make journals to journal in, not to look at, not to sell. And I have a lot of old photos that I want to stick in these journals, because I just think it's much more fun and interactive than just flipping through a photo album. Okay, now those are going to have to dry. And this will go in the middle, like that. All right, so now I need to find some material to cover the front and the back. And I usually try to get something that goes with the cover or the theme of the book. A lot of flowers here, blues and pinks, a parrot, sort of turquoise. All right, I'm going to go through my material bin and see what I have. Now, I don't want to buy any special material because I have so much material. So I got out a few pieces. This kind of goes with this, doesn't it? I like those two together. I have this dark floral. I want this to be very bright and colorful. I have this, looks like an impressionist painting. It's like a Monet. I like the soft greens. She got a parrot on her shoulder there. And I do have a green doily that I could put on the spine too. I think I almost want to hide the stitching on this one and put something pretty on the spine, like maybe this. So I will show you how I'm going to do that. I think this is just wide enough to perfectly match the outside. Yeah, I think that's going to be great. All right, I'm going to cut a piece of this, but before I put this on, I'm going to leave this to the very end of sewing in the signatures. But, because I'm going to show you what I'm going to do first. So this is an old, what is this? This is an old tablecloth I bought at the flea market. And it is a vintage color with lots of stains. Because, you know, if you're going to junk journal, you need to use some junk. Some found items. I'm not going to use any kind of digital kit or paper pack. Well, actually, I'm going to use a paper pack. I have some Day of the Dead paper left over from my October journal that I may use the very colorful Fiesta-like pages. Okay, I hate to cut into this, but I don't know, is this like $1 million tablecloth? I doubt it. It is sewn by machine, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, I'm just going to cut this. If I buy something old, I buy it to use it, to cut it up and use it. I don't buy it to put in a museum, so therefore I look for stuff that, no, why didn't I do that on this side? You know, I don't look for museum quality items. I look for something that is old and used and beat up and will get new life by taking it apart and using it for something else. Right, right. And if it isn't too good of a condition or worth a lot of money, I didn't buy it to use to cut apart. And let me get some material thrown back down on the floor here. Get this out of my way. Okay, we're not going to go with this. Oh, I just bumped into the lamp and it got brighter. That's funny. It's got different modes. So this will be the outside. Okay, I'll probably take that down more because I don't want to cover so much of the cover. So that's about right. I'm going to leave it a little bit bigger for now. Like so. Yeah, I'll take that down a little bit so you can see more of those flowers. Well, we got a nice blue like the cover. We got some pink like the flowers. Got some green like the parrot. So that'll be good. Now this is kind of see-through, but not too bad. Okay. Back to putting the cover together. I am going to go find a piece of mailing envelope as reinforcement for the spine and glue that down. That's so funny. I've been organizing things, and now that I'm organizing things, I can't find anything. I had to stop and really think about where I put my mailing envelopes. Now this is a material called Tyvek. It's very, very strong. Works great as a reinforcement for the spine. And you can either save your own, your old, you know, when you get something in the mail, you can save them. Or you can go out and buy these like at Staples or Amazon or anywhere. They're just heavy-duty mailing envelopes. They have some fibers in there that really work well. And what I do is I cover the inside and the outside. Now this is a nice clean piece. I don't always get nice clean pieces. So you know what? I'm going to put this on the outside because usually the envelopes are a lot dirtier than this. This is like a priority mailing envelope that comes from the post office. Or you can buy these. Okay, now for the outside. I made this big enough for the inside, but now I changed my mind. I want to use it for the outside. So I'm going to make it a little smaller because I don't have to cover those reinforcement strips, and I don't want to cover a lot of the picture. And this is why I don't do tutorials, because I always change my mind when I'm doing something. So the spine is 2 inches, and I'm going to overlap maybe 1/2 inch on each side. So that's 3 inches. So I need to cut this down to 3 inches. That's okay, because I'm going to use the scraps, because this is 8 inches to reinforce the book pages. Because the book pages have almost like a perforation and they come apart very, very easily. They rip very easily, and I found that when I'm working in the journal, I'm not very gentle, and the pages tend to rip on me. So I'll be slicing this and using that in there. Now this is 3 inches, just about. Okay, make sure you got everything right side up. And again, you're going to leave, oops, did I knock that? Ooh, I did. Can I put it back? I don't think I could. See, I knocked that cardboard. So now it's sticking out. So now I got to cut that off. Okay, where was I? I just made that even there. Because I know I had that straight. I must have knocked it before the glue dried and not realized it. So I got to cut that top piece off too. Maybe I'll do that now. Get it done. It'll be easier now than when I put the book together. I got to stand up. Video is not for children. I am using sharp tools. Please do this with adult supervision only. Okay. Let's try this again. All right, now you want to leave just a little bit of space between the covers and the spine, so you get a little flexibility there. You don't want too much, you don't want it floppy, but you do want a little flexibility, especially when everything is not exactly straight. You don't want parts rubbing on each other. And I am just going to put the stinky glue on the inside of this, I guess. Usually I put this on both sides, and the inside is wider to cover the little support pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then I have to wait a little while, and then I will do the other side. And the other side will be about 5 inches, 2 and 3, 4, and an extra inch to fold it over. And I will cover this with material. Looking for the edge so I can get it about 1/2 inch on each side. About, and that's about just up to the fold on that side. You want it somewhat straight because you got to cover it with material. And I'm gonna put my fingers in that crease there. Run it with my thumbnail like that. Okay, see how straight it is. Yeah, it looks pretty straight. I might have to trim that support a little bit on that side. But sometimes I get these a little crooked. And that's okay. They could be a little crooked. Okay, I'm going to let this dry for a minute and then flip it over and do the other side. You can see how much wider the piece for the inside is because I'm go over the supports. But you probably don't have to. But this will be covered with material. And everything will be nice and sturdy. Now this piece has got a seam. When you're using these envelopes, you're going to come across seams. And they're okay. Going to get covered anyway. Just check for parts that are flapping up. So this is 2 plus 1 plus 1. 2, 3, 4. And I went to 5, so I had a little bit to go down the edge on both sides. As you can see, it's a little bit crooked. And a little bit crooked is what I call possum straight. And as long as we got the bendability there and the reinforcement, and on the outside looking good. Now I'm going to put in the signatures before I put this on. So now I have to come up with oh no wait, before I come up with signatures I have to cover this with something. Well, this is strange. This material, when you start it, you cut and you rip to get a nice straight edge, it rips at a little bit of an angle to the cut of the material. So the longer piece you have, the more of an angle you get. So I may just do 2 smaller panels like this. And then put this over the spine, which I wanted to use anyway. So I am going to glue these pieces down, and I'm going to use my Elmer's Craft Bond because I like the way it behaves with material. And I don't think I've ever done this before, have I? I may have. To go back and look at my Christmas book. Sometimes I just leave the inside cover the way it is. Alright, let's see if we can get the material down somewhat presentably. So it's okay to have a little bit of that ripped edge peeking up and out, because I'm not going to be, folding any papers over it or something. So that little bit of a raw edge is going to be fine. I'll show you in a minute what I mean. Okay, this goes way further over than what I glued. That's okay. Let's get out some more glue. So see, it's got a little, oops, got a clunk of glue there. A little bit of that edge, frayed edge sticking up. I like that. Look how nice that glue stick holds the material down. anything comes up, I can glue it later. Okay, now I'm going to do the back piece. Which is the back piece? Is it this one? I guess I should pay more attention to what I'm doing. This one or this one? This one or that one? Okay, this one looks like it'll cover. All right, we'll use that one. Because why not? Lots of glue. Hold that down. Then I have to cut that dark purple. I love that dark purple. Let's see if this works. I'm going to line it up from the bottom, I think. And then pull it this way. If you do it just right, the wrinkles come out. The wrinkles will come out. See, there's that fold of material. If you do it just right, you won't even see that. Wow, I really went over the edge on that one. But you know what? Might have to leave that. Get those corners. All right, now I'm going to cut that purple material. Well, I love how those two materials go together. And this is just a little bit wider than where the two supports are. About a ½ inch on each side. So I am going to just glue this down. Use this permanent bond. It's going to go just over this. I need a little bit of glue there. And a little bit of glue there. Lots of glue here. Lots of glue on the spine. Alright. See if we can get this possum straight. Alright, start at the bottom. I'm going to use my fingernails to check to see that I got that on there. Smoothing it out. All the wrinkles disappear. How nice. Use my thumb in the crease like that. And I'm also going to use my thumb to press along the support. on this side and that side, and you can see how this tear is a little bit crooked. Well, the back the back came out straighter than the front. I wonder if I should have moved that over so the front was straighter. Is that the front? Yes, it is. Oh, well. Do I want to rip it up? This is dangerous. All right, let's see what happens if we put the front straighter. Let's see what happens. All right, repeat. Glue, take it apart. Glue. Yeah, glue, take it apart, repeat. Put it together, glue, take it apart, glue, repeat. Until you get it the way you like it. I just think that'll present nicer because when you first open up the journal, oh, you know, it's still crooked. Oh, well, I still went crooked. So we're just going to leave it. We're fine. We're fine. I'm not going to take it apart again. It's just a little bit crooked. Who's going to notice? This is for me. So now we're getting nice and tight here with all that material on there. We don't want a floppy cover. Okay, then after I make the signatures, I will put this on there. Okay, I think I'm going to call this part 1 and call it done, because I took the book apart, I've got it put back together again, I've got the inside done. The outside I'm going to do after I sew in the signatures. So what I need to do is go through the paper packs and see what I'm going to put in for paper. So I will come back with part 2 of sewing in the signatures. Now that the cover is almost done, I think that's a good size. I think 2 inches is a good size for this book for 2 signatures. So thanks for coming along today, and happy little golden book journaling. Bye-bye.